episode 615. How the heck are you?
Suze, I'm so good. Guess what came in the mail yesterday?
What?
My Colorado driver's license.
Well, it came in the mail.
My, because I had to also get my last name changed.
Right. Sarah, you're now officially Sarah Louise Rice.
Yes.
That's wonderful. How do you feel?
So good.
That's
the
great.
best was somebody asked me the other day, like, somebody said, like, I don't know, I went to check in somewhere, and they were like, oh, name? And I said, Sarah Rice, or they said last name, and I was like, Rice like the food. And I was like, oh, I miss saying that so much.
Right. Is that
I always
your
say
go-to?
that. What's your last name? Rice like the food? Because if I just say Sarah Rice, they're like, Rice, blah, blah.
Oh,
so if I just say Rice like the food, they know.
I'm so happy for you.
It feels very good. Mm-hmm. And isn't it interesting? It's the same. I think this might be either the same week or like the week before my ex-husband gets married again.
My God.
So it's kind of like the universe was like, let go of that. It's
Yes. Let go.
Yes. And I'm like, tomorrow I get a new car, and it's the car that we had like both of our names on, and like, like still.
Oh, the one you
mine,
have. I see. Okay. Yes.
Now I get everything new.
That's a good feeling. Fresh start, but kind of like fresh back to the beginning start.
Yeah.
That's so
Right.
nice.
I remember that episode that we did a long, long time ago where you talked about the rules and some laws about getting your last name changed back, and how you have to get like the husband's permission and everything.
Yeah.
And at the time, I wasn't. I was like, I kind of get it. Blah blah blah.
Right.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
That was the hardest shit. I had the lengths I had to go to prove that I was like, and I get it. Yes. No, identity theft, blah, 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 blah. But like, it was really fucking easy to, get his last, like, I don't know. It just was so annoying and frustrating.
Wrong.
Like, proof of live birth,
Proof of
notary.
life.
There were so many people involved, and it cost a pretty penny.
Oh my God. Really? Did it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, everywhere I go, I had to get it notarized. I had to.
Boy.
People are probably like, "Sir, it costs $8 to get notarized." Yeah, but like time, energy, all that. Then it was probably. I think it was like $75 or $80 to order my birth certificate from the Hall of Records in Los Angeles. Then the DMV fees. There were like 2 payments for that. It was, probably like $200.
It's ridiculous. And every state is different. And there are different levels of, what's the word, scrutiny or whatever, where some places
California didn't care as much as Colorado did.
Yeah.
Colorado was like, we'll also need, I was in line, and like, because I had to go to the DMV, like the first time I went, they told me, oh no, this isn't enough information. I had a passport, with my last name on it, passport, my old driver's license, my marriage certificate, or my marriage license, my divorce decree, my social security card. That still wasn't enough. And the woman next to me was like, oh, you're probably going to have to go to a doctor. And I was like, what the fuck could a doctor tell me?
What did she mean by that?
I have no idea.
Oh boy. I don't even want to know. We're in fucking
Me neither.
Gilead
So I'm glad I
these
didn't
days.
have to go there. Like, I don't know what we need to do to prove that. But so so I'm very thrilled because I have my Colorado driver's
when
license.
you go through all that, though, doesn't it make you fascinated by, number one, the people that do successfully steal people's identities? How do they do that so easily? And then also anyone that's sort of like on the run, and then they use like somebody dies and they use their license, and I'm like, how do they do that? It's so complicated.
How do they do that? And then they're scanning everything everywhere you go, and like this, but like, I mean,
it's a brave new world, man.
For real.
It ain't good.
Yeah.
It ain't good.
You can't get away. I was thinking that yesterday. This is like not anything I want to talk about today, but I was thinking about how you know what I was watching? Everybody's telling me, oh, you should see Yellowstone. That show's so good. So I was watching it, and like, some crazy fucked up shit happens, and people are awful. And they're like, pushing people off of like the side of a cliff into the valley, spoiler alert. And I was like, man, there's so much DNA. Like, that guy left so much DNA on him. And, like, this was, like, would be very easy to figure out who did this and their car drive, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, okay, these are, like, this is more like Wild Wild West, older, like, mindset. Like, I think now with the technology we have, you can't commit crimes in the same way you used to. So, but it's like whack-a-mole, right?
Yeah.
You know, you hit one thing down and it doesn't like get rid of crime just because now we're like more policed and monitored and data collected. You could see everything and DNA and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't reduce the people's like,
They just pivot.
Like
They just pivot.
yes, it just pops
Now
up somewhere else.
That's why we have more swindlers now, I think.
Totally.
Fewer killers.
Like, we are going to see a new kind of crime. And isn't it weird, like crazy to think that I saw some tweet or something that said, like, how about how we're all dodging like scam artists multiple times a day and like not thinking and just are like fine with it.
Yeah. It really is bonkers. That's why on my Insta story, I put that thing up about that text where I got spam that said, like, Susie, is your stomach disgusting? Because, like, why is this happening on my phone?
Right.
All the time.
I know. What did I sign up for?
It's bizarre. And then who is falling for that? Because they wouldn't do it if nobody fell for it.
Right.
Someone is like, why, yes, it is disgusting. How can you help me?
Yeah. So, or you accidentally click on something and then next thing you know,
trouble's brewing.
Yeah.
I hope you never get swindled, like, genuinely, but it would be great content for this show.
Oh, God, Sue.
Because
can we wish something else?
No, I said I hope
doesn't
you
involve
don't.
my financial ruin.
I did say I hope you do not, but the asterisk is it would be fun to hear about.
Yeah, what do you think I would fall for?
Cult, number one.
Yeah.
And it would definitely be one of those. Okay, so I read about this. These people that previously had made, I think it was Soul Cycle, the people that founded that company, are now founding a company that's sort of like group therapy / like make friends. And I thought, this is the new thing. Because people are lonely, someone wants to capitalize on it. And then it's going to be rah-rah, like life coachy stuff.
Yeah.
You would definitely fall for that.
Probably.
I don't know. What do you think you'd fall for?
You know, I actually, thinking about it, becoming a therapist is probably the best thing to save me from joining a cult.
Yeah? Because you know the red
now
flags.
I can kind of see through that. I kind of get that, you know. Like, I would have been, like, one of those leaders who wanted to, like, help people and, like, would have been like, but I was like, I thought I was changing lives. And, you know.
But anybody that's willing to participate in a sound bath, I think is still maybe a mark.
She's going to see that, like, 10 years from now, I'm going to be like, do you remember an episode? It'll be like episode 2000 and something. And I'm going to be like, do you remember when we talked about this? And, like, it's going to be, like, covered by insurance or something.
The sound bath?
Yeah. They're going to be like, MIT reveals new study that shows sound bath technology beneficial to reduce inflammation.
Totally.
That's always what it is. Everything's to fucking reduce inflammation. Am I right?
Yeah, Peg just said that to me. She goes, that's the main problem with everything, inflammation.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the problem I have, as you know, is that my freaking substitute hairstylist, burnt my hair, overprocessed it, and it all fell out. So
R.I.P. 1/3 of Susie's hair.
R.I.P. for real. And thank God for Nutrafol, which is our partner that helps people with weakened or thinning hair.
Yes. Who doesn't have that in these?
Yes.
In this economy?
From stress and all that jazz. I mean, it's a real thing. And a lot of people, of course, hormones, pregnancy, all that stuff can affect hair. And it really does. Like, remember how when it first happened to me, I was sort of nonchalant. And I was like, easy come, easy go. Like, I had to see this coming eventually. But as time has gone on, I've gotten more upset about it because I'm starting to see how bad it really is.
Suze.
It's the worst. and how it takes 5 years to get back to the right length. Anyway, Nutrafol is going to help.
Yeah, good thing you started and good thing you have help.
Yes. They have unique formulas, support women in various stages of life. So you go on there, take a quiz, see what's up. They have so many different options for you to, intervene in this problem, which I hate, and it's so sad. You can grow thicker, healthier hair and support our show by going to Nutrafol.com and entering our promo code, which is Brain Candy, to save $15 off your first month's subscription. This is the best offer anywhere. It's only available to U.S. customers for a limited time, so give it a try. I always feel like if you're not sure, just give it a whirl. What's the harm? You know what I mean? Yeah. Free shipping on every order, $15 off. It's spelled Nutrafol.
I sent it to my friend a while back. This was I think her baby is 3 or 4 now.
Oh, yeah. But this was a while ago. That's a thing.
Yeah, and she said it was great. So
okay, good. And I'm loving it so far. So give it a try if you want. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yes. Well, enough about me. Let's talk about some stuff that we talked about before. I have an update for you.
Okay. Yes.
This is like an update on an update.
Okay.
So we talked about the pig heart transplant.
The pig heart, yes.
Remember?
I read this update.
And then you were like, oh, I'm so sorry,
yes,
Sarah. He actually
died.
But
now we know why.
Yes, we do. Is this nuts or what?
Totally nuts.
Okay. So you guys can be on the same page as us. The pig heart that was given in that transplant had a virus.
I can't.
It wasn't even a healthy heart. So it had a virus with a crazy name. It was called porcine. I don't know how you pronounce that. Cytomegalovirus, which sounds definitely bad.
It sounds like a narcissist pig.
Totally, right? And yeah, it was like a significant pig pathogen that
pathogen.
Right? That's what the article called it. That would definitely affect the health of this heart. And they're not sure. Without the virus, they say, would he have lived? They're not 100% sure. But the infection definitely didn't help and likely contributed to the failure.
I mean, how is there not a safeguard for getting a virusy pig heart?
That seems like...
step one.
Step one. Right. Is it good?
Does this pig have a virus?
Yeah. I mean, we're taking antiviral medication. There's all this. Oh. Okay, well, hang on a sec. We had time to give it cocaine.
Right.
But not check if it had any viruses?
I think the doctors may have taken a little bit of
that
cocaine. We're like, whatever, it's fine.
That is... I just think that...
That is a real bummer.
It's a bummer, but also it felt... I was really happy to see this.
Yeah, right. I see what you're saying. Because
it I think that the people who maybe were on the fence about this and were like, nah, it'll never work. And then this happened and we're able to say, see, told you it won't work.
Yeah.
Can maybe go back to being a little more on the fence about and more open.
Really? Do you think there were people that were sort of like, I told you so, it's never going to work?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
That's stupid.
I do think so.
Well, they're crazy.
I think any sort of new scientific advancement, which one I'm going to talk about. Oh God, I have a whole bunch of fun stuff to tell you. People, because most
skeptical.
of it is fucking crazy.
Yeah, it is. But think of all we've done so far. To me, it's sort of like, wow, anything's possible. And even with the virus, I was impressed by how well it went.
I mean, right.
He hung in
That's
there.
what I'm saying. If you were impressed with how well it went, there has to be this feeling that it's probably going to fail.
Oh, I see.
Right?
Well, on the first try. Because, there is a learning curve. But he hung in there, and they gave him a bum ticker. I mean, come on.
Right. They did say that something about the virus is very hard. Because with a virus, you can't, it's not like what is it, like mass spectrometer where you put an object into the machine and it says, this is made up of these components, you know? It's not like you can put a virus into a machine and it goes, this is that virus.
Yeah, that's right.
You have to test it for something.
Yeah.
You say, could this be coronavirus? Let's test and see if it's coronavirus. You have to like have the idea of what virus it is, right?
Yeah, I guess that
this is my understanding of how this stuff works.
Right. I guess I would think that there had been all of those tests done, but maybe they were on a time crunch or something. I don't know. Because I don't know how it works with the transplant of animal organs and if it's all real fast like it is with humans. You know, when you get a new organ from someone who's passed away and then you donate it to someone on the list, they don't have a lot of time in between.
Right.
Oh, so I don't know if that's also the case.
This is what they need the cocaine for.
Right. I don't know. I don't know why that's funny to me every time you say
It's funny every time because it is.
Right. It's like, it seems so
the
wrong.
Idea, because there's no way your mind isn't painting you the picture of like doctors in lab coats
Animal House.
doing lines off of those metal tables with pig carcasses in the background.
Totally.
Am I alone in this
That's
mental
right.
image?
I feel bad. I keep laughing about it, but it is a funny visual. I'm sorry.
It is. But yeah, I mean, and also like now I'm thinking of what cocaine would look like on a pig's snout, which is like also hilarious.
Totally.
It makes it sound like I've done a bunch of cocaine. I haven't. I've just watched a lot of movies.
I know. You just revealed that you even have seen it, unlike me, where I'm like, wonder what that chalk pile is.
No, I have seen it.
Yeah.
I don't live under a rock, Susie. I was cool. People did ask me to do drugs.
I know. I'm such a loser.
I know. I'm totally kidding. You are not cool if people ask you to do drugs. That's not the bar for any children who may be listening.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Well, I hope the next time they get a good heart and it is just like the best ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said in the article I read, it said that there were no signs in the beginning of it, like it being rejected. And in fact, like the doctor said that he was performing like a, quote, rock star, according to the transplant surgeon.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Like it was supposed to be like
it's going great.
Yeah, so they're going to go in and I think really do a serious autopsy on this guy and like.
What do you think it is that makes you so into this story? Because you are very invested in it, I feel.
Is it it's all those people who are on the list. Like, it's a big problem.
That's
true.
And
it's one of those that seems like a simpler one.
Mm-hmm.
Then, like, we should have figured this out. We've got a lot of people who die. A lot of people are organ donors.
Yeah.
But a lot of people can't get these organs in time. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I see
and
your
then I
point.
think the idea of cross-species, like, organ transplantation or whatever the frickin' name for that is. There's like some fancy name for it, like
yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the name for it. But, what is it?
Yeah.
Xenotransplantation.
Yeah.
Yes. I just saw it in the corner of my eye in the article. I was like, ooh,
That's the one.
Yeah, so I think that idea, I mean, I think it's like anything. It's anything that is like sci-fi material, you know, that kind of stretches the imagination.
Yeah. Well, like my friends, the two gay guys that just had twins that I love, they, you know, one of the twins was from one sperm and the other twin was from the other. So both husbands have a biological child, but they were in the womb together. I mean, that is sci-fi to me.
Oh my gosh, Susie.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is so sci-fi. I love it. And you also gave me like the best
segue
okay. that there could ever been.
Okay.
Speaking of twins,
yes,
there was a really interesting case study that has shown that originally we thought that there wasn't much variation between IQ of
twin.
what are they called? Monozygotic twins.
Yeah.
So fraternal
Identical?
twins. Identical twins. Thank you. Identical twins. They thought that there was only about a difference of about 6 IQ points. But there were these two twins that were separated at birth. They were born in South Korea, and they got separated. They lost one of the babies at a farmer's market.
Oh, my...
Like,
what?
when the baby was, like, 3 or 4. And despite, like, going on television and putting up, like, making, talking about, like, big search for this child, they never found her. And she ended up getting adopted by an American family.
When you say lost at a farmer's market, you don't mean kidnapped?
No, I think she was lost. Like that's what it said. It didn't say kidnapped. It said that she went missing.
And then just, how did she end up on the adoption circuit, though? That's bizarre.
Since that wasn't the point
I'm
of the
sorry.
article, they didn't have the details. No, but now I really want to know. Like, I really, like...
Maybe it's...
It didn't say...
What year was this?
It didn't say anything about that in there, and now I really want to know.
Was this how long ago?
They, in 2000... Okay, so... She didn't know that she had any siblings until 2018, and that's when she submitted it. I want to say she was in her 20s at the time.
Okay, wow. All right. So she was adopted, and the twin wasn't lost at the farmer's market, or?
Twin was not lost.
Okay.
One was raised in the United States. One was raised in South Korea. Their IQ is different by 16 points.
Wow.
Crazy difference in their IQ, the biggest difference they've seen, where we've seen, we for so long, researchers believed that this wasn't a thing. This couldn't happen. But this is really showing that your environment significantly impacts. Oh, and the other thing was their personality and their character traits were very similar. Their personality traits were similar.
But their intelligence
was not.
Boy, the not so smart one must be really bummed out.
And super bummed out, because guess what? She also had a shitty upbringing.
Which country was she in?
The twin raised in Korea had a loving, harmonious family home, and the adopted sister reported a harsher upbringing colored by regular conflicts and the divorce of her adopted parents.
Dang.
Yep.
And
they even had similar medical histories. Both underwent a surgery to remove tumors from their ovaries. And the only other difference was they had some cultural ideologies that were different. Like, obviously, the one from South Korea grew up in a collectivist culture and had more collectivist values.
Yeah.
And the one growing up in the United States has more individualistic ones. But is dumber.
Right. My God. Well, I mean, I'm kind of surprised that the scientists are surprised, though, because, we know how nutrition can affect IQ and trauma.
I don't think we've ever seen that vast of a difference, though.
Right.
I think that they didn't know. They thought... that also shows how significant environment and circumstance or whatever are on cognition and like our ability to,
man,
I don't know, learn.
I wish I knew more about these ladies. Are they friends or anything? Did they say? Are they close now?
No, it was kind of a short article. Maybe I'll look into finding more.
Do they give their names?
Like, the whole thing. It does.
Oh, damn. That is totally fascinating.
Yeah, it said so when they were reunited, when they found each other, and they found out they had an older brother. She had an older brother and sister too. And when they found each other, they went through a whole bunch of like tests, and they were like studied, and
gosh,
yeah, they got a bunch of info. So they were saying that they hope, like, even though this is not something that you hope,
no,
people are separated, but
it's helpful info
through these things, like the genealogy websites and those kind of things. People are finding these siblings people who have been separated at birth, and we can study this in a more
Comprehensive, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of pairs of things, may I suggest that you should check out Pear Eyeglasses?
Oh,
Because
look at that.
they're freaking
Yes.
great.
This is like a nice way to transition it from season to season.
It is. Pear, okay, here's why it's great. First of all, typically the eyeglass industry has been monopolized by one company. So Pear went in there and they're like, heck no, we want you to be able to get affordable, really cute frames. And what's great is you go online and they have the simulation. So you can try them on, simulate.
Yes, that really works.
Really works.
You said that, and then I was like, I'll
be
see
the
about
judge of
that.
that.
And I was like, oh, dang, she was right.
Yeah, and you can see what the style looks like on you. Then you can buy them right then, and you can add these little things that pop right on. I always forget the name, what they call them. It's a cute name, but so that you can change like the style day to day. They're magnetic and they pop right on.
Fun.
So fun. They have all different cute designs. But then it's super affordable. And you just upload your prescription and not long after that, they come in the mail. It's awesome.
Oh, we have so many teacher listeners that I feel like
Yes.
this is totally for that.
And I just bought another pair because I loved the first one so much. Get
cool.
glasses as unique as you are. One pair, infinite styles, starting at $60. Go to paireyewear.com/braincandy for 15% off your first purchase. That's 15% off at paireyewear.com/braincandy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Wow.
What would you do if you found out you had a twin somewhere?
Oh, my gosh. You know, I was thinking when you were talking about that, how that's it used to be far more common, you know, like when we heard about 3 identical strangers. And like back in the olden days, they would separate twins a lot more. And so there was more opportunity to study the differences.
Oh, like separate them because
Adoption.
Like just
Yeah.
And we just like didn't care.
Nobody
We're
cared.
like, they're probably going to be fine.
Nobody
and now we're
cared.
like, oh shit, we fuck them up.
Yeah, because
Yeah, got it.
babies inside the womb know what's going on, even though they don't remember.
God, they totally know.
And there's like trauma in losing your other half, so to speak. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of in utero learning and stuff like that, I was having a conversation with my supervisor the other day, and she blew my mind on something that like I never thought about, but makes so much sense. And maybe it's like, yeah, duh, Sarah. But I just want to put this out there.
Yeah.
We were talking about video games and just like, you know, what video games do to the brain.
Yeah.
And your brain doesn't know if you are at war or playing a video game.
Yeah, that's true. I remember reading this
Nobody
about
who's
even...
pregnant should be playing any sort of video games that make them feel like that.
That's interesting that your mind went to like pregnancy. That
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Because like
no.
if your brain doesn't know, then it's sending all the messages, it's giving the hormones, it's doing the things, it's we know that babies have lower birth weights during times of war.
Yeah.
Like there's all this stuff that's very bad for the baby.
Pretty much any stress or trauma, right?
Yeah, and you're like inducing stress, like
You're choosing it.
yes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like a nice happy video game, but the one that where your brain doesn't know that it's a game.
I think we even talked on this show one time about how maybe it's something similar when you're watching sports, that your brain kind of doesn't realize it's not playing it.
Oh, yeah.
Which would explain why people get so freaking into it.
And why they always say we.
Right. Oh, well, when they win. They don't say that when they lose.
Oh, my God. Really?
Yeah, they tend to say we won and they lost.
Oh, my God. That's so funny.
Humans are the worst.
Humans are the weirdest.
But
We're so simple.
well, what do you think though about, like, are you someone who thinks video games are maybe not great for kids also for the same reason?
I think it depends on content, and it depends on what I like. Like a little bit of frustration with a reward is wonderful for the brain. Like I love my best fiends, great, that kind of thing, because it doesn't make you feel like you're defending yourself. It's something about feeling attacked.
Oh, like
if
point
you're
of view POV games.
Yeah, that, and then I think it depends on subject matter and intention and those kind of things.
Yeah. It is, like, in some ways it is amazing to me how the human brain can be so strong and incredible, and then in other ways I'm like, boy, human brains are real dumb.
They're strong but flexible. They are like the palm tree. Bendy
Right.
could survive a hurricane, and you're like, how the fuck did that thin-ass tree survive a hurricane? But real flexible.
Yeah, but like even just the malleability of memories and how...
Oh, my God.
That's great and
Please.
everything, but it's weird how we're not aware that our...
So I feel like the older I get, the harder it is for me to differentiate between dreams and real life.
You
My
must have
dreams
really
are
cool
becoming
dreams.
more mundane and more boring. They're like regular. And so it's not like, oh, yeah, I was at this circus and then I was like, in a bounce house and then I was like building a rocket ship. It's not like that.
Now it's just like, oh, I was doing an errand.
Yes.
Yeah. That's sad.
It's like, oh, I took a taxi from here to there. Then I'm like, did I take a taxi? No, it's
great.
stupid. It's so annoying.
I do think my conspiracy theory is there is something more mysterious about dreams than scientists are always like, yeah, that's just how your brain restores
there for
itself
sure
and
is.
makes peace with whatever. I'm like, I think there's more to the story.
Well, if you go see the new Doctor Strange metaverse, whatever, into the
What do they
metaverse
say?
or whatever it's called, they say that dreams, spoiler alert, they say that dreams are different, like dimensions, different universes.
Yeah, see?
Like a parallel
I can believe
universe.
that.
I can believe that too. That's why I loved that movie, because I was like, some of this stuff is like based in like concepts, like rooted in, theories that are kind of real.
I think there's more to this story.
I do too. Yeah. Makes me want to take a nap real bad.
Well, do you like to remember your dreams, or you
love it?
Yeah, I thought so.
Oh, please. And I'm like the only person who actually wants to hear your
You do
dreams.
not. It's the worst.
I do, but not like boring ones. Like, I don't want to hear the ones like mine where like, did I take a taxi or not? Don't give me that. I want to hear the one where you were like, doing the weird stuff.
And then do you
let's
analyze
dissect
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Just fun to do. It's the same as like, it's just fun.
Yeah,
it's
I
not,
hear that. I hear that.
It's just another piece of information, kind of like in the same way. It's like somebody paints a picture and you stand back and you're like, oh, maybe this could be da-da-da. It's probably their subconscious trying to da-da. It's like that. It's interpreting the art in a way. Yeah.
Those dream interpretation books and lists are fun, but I think it's funny how nobody knows the truth and that they act authoritative about it.
Yeah. Like
I love it. Like the confidence of that. Like, here's what this means.
That you can actually look it up. Like, and then there's like an index, like
yes,
a glossary.
that's what I mean.
Where it's like, oh, did you want this word? Oh, that's on page this.
Exactly.
Like we know for sure. Yeah. We don't know jack shit.
No, just admit it.
Yeah. You know who else didn't know jack shit? All of the scientists who invented modern psychosurgery. You want to hear about the history of the lobotomy?
Oh, my God. Yes.
So bad, right?
Yeah, there's so many things like that where you're like, how did they think that was a good idea?
Oh, my God. It was the wild, wild west back there.
And what years are we talking here?
So, in 1888 was when the first attempt at modern psychosurgery happened. And it was on patients with schizophrenia in Switzerland by a man named Gottlieb Burckhardt. And he had absolutely no surgical training.
Wow.
But decided to remove sections of the brain in this procedure that they called focal cerebral cortical excision.
It's
So
I mean, it's truly like give me the confidence of a mediocre white man syndrome.
I mean,
They're like, oh,
like-
I can handle this.
6 people had open brain surgery. 6 people.
Okay.
One died from complications 5 days later. Another one died by suicide, which is like,
That's sad.
that's terrible. Another one experienced epilepsy
Right.
and were unable to understand writing or speech. They got like
My
aphasia.
God.
Yep. And then there were 3 that they deemed a quote unquote success, but they were described as being quieted by the procedure.
Well, that was the intention.
Right. Like, so he was like basically a mad scientist that did this. Those were the 6 operations that he performed. And then they were like, ooh, this seems dangerous. And they shelved the idea for a while. Then in, well, however many years, this is like 50 years later, 1835, there were these neuroscientists too, John Fulton and Carlisle Jacobson, who performed brain surgeries on chimps. They performed these chimps, female chimps, which I'm like,
Oh, wow.
I don't know. I'm like, oh, you guys are... Becky and Lucy were the names of the chimps. I don't know why that like matters, but it does. And the chimps, I guess, would like become infuriated. How they like measured this is they would become enraged or infuriated or like upset if they made mistakes during tasks that they were supposed to perform. And then they performed the surgery, and afterwards, the chimps appeared calm and happy. We don't know anything about what's going on inside their brain. We don't know anything about how it changed their personality. All we knew was some sort of connection between
improved.
the prefrontal cortex and personality and, like, people's behavior.
Okay.
So then there was a neurologist. Yes, that's the right word. Neurologist in Portugal who he was the one who was the first to do the first lobotomy on a human patient, but they called it something different. It was called a leucotomy then.
And
Leucotomy.
the patient wanted this done? Do we know that if the patient was okay?
When they're schizophrenic, a lot of times I don't think most of the patients they did this on until later could really consent.
Right, because they didn't even know what the outcome would be.
Right.
Okay.
So the same year that the chimp surgery was again, a quote unquote success, this doctor was like, oh, I think I'm going to take this idea and I'm going to do this leucotomy where they take 2 holes they drill 2 holes in the patient's skull and then inject ethanol into the white matter in the frontal lobe. And it acts as like this, it causes this almost like burning or like irritation that causes irreversible injury to the blood vessels. And it like destroys all the fibrous tissue that connects the frontal lobe and the rest of the brain.
My God.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, so disgusting. They even developed a tool for this that would like go in and then slice out the white matter. And
the heck?
he won a Nobel Prize in 1949 in psychology for medicine.
Really? Because of this?
Yeah.
They were like, good work.
Yeah.
Really?
It was. They did think that maybe they should take it away, though. So I guess, and it's hard to say like the success is a dulled and like a zombie.
Yeah. Well, because you know how one
Essentially.
of the Kennedys had a lobotomy.
That is in my next
Yeah.
segment on this topic.
Part 2.
So then, yeah, right? So then over in the United States in 1936, these 2 doctors developed the, like, I don't know, more common one that we kind of know it as, where they just drilled these 2 holes.
Oh my
or like,
God.
no,
I
one
didn't
tiny
actually
hole.
know that. I didn't know what
That it was like
what they did.
a hole drilling. How did you picture this happening?
I thought they removed part of the brain.
Yeah, but like a lobotomy, when I hear somebody having a lobotomy, I think about somebody having their whole head drilled into
Okay.
versus cut open,
Gotcha.
right?
And you're right about that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they started doing this in the United States. This guy Freeman was like the one who developed like, oh, let's put a little hole in the brain. This guy, he was like, I don't know. I feel like my mind, when I read the article, imagines him as like one of those like preachers who's like a narcissist. What are they? Evangelical, like snake church, like one of those guys.
Yeah.
Who's like all about the performance and everything. Because this guy started to get more reckless with his techniques, and he developed the Transorbital Lobotomy, which is the one where they use the ice pick like instrument and they hammer it into the patient's eye socket.
Oh my God, Sarah.
So he wanted to get, like, he was like getting fancy with it, and his favorite trick was, no, I'm not kidding, Suze, this is disgusting. So like they would do these, he would go, oh my God, it was fucking insane. So he would travel across the country performing these lobotomies in what he called his lobotomobile.
Oh no, he's double whammy. He's like a punny guy.
Lobotomobile, yes.
Oh my God.
And he was performing up to 25 lobotomies a day.
Who is asking for this? I don't understand.
I know. He ditched his like neurosurgeon colleagues and was like, nope, I'm out. I'm like doing this solo now. And so he also ditched all of his, like, he was performing surgeries with no scrubs, no gloves, no hygiene, in all the kind of like these operating theaters. And there was even reports that he was chewing gum during surgery, not sterilizing his hands, doing the operations in hotel rooms. This is the most disgusting part. His favorite trick was hammering instruments into both of a patient's eyes simultaneously.
This is like his claim. He was like, I got it. I've come up with the... Okay.
Until, oopsie daisy, in 1967, he killed a patient, and I can't believe it took that fucking long for him to kill somebody who died from brain hemorrhage after the lobotomy, and then he was banned from performing operations.
So my sense is that at that time, we didn't know how to kind of quote unquote handle people with certain mental health conditions and intellectual disabilities and such. And so the solution was just to stop the behavior that was problematic, even if it removed the human being inside, kind of.
Absolutely, because we see a steep decline in these. They pretty much became obsolete with the rise of medications that were able to sedate patients.
So once we could sedate, we were like, we don't have to drill in their eyeballs anymore.
Yeah, like Thorazine is something that you can subdue patients. You can like subdue them before surgery, and once that was developed and came onto market, then it like stopped happening.
Okay.
Soviet Union banned them in 1950.
Okay, well, thank the Soviet Union. Well, so...
Yeah, can you believe that one?
When did the Kennedy lady have it done?
So, Rosemary Kennedy, who was the sister of John F. Kennedy, this is crazy. She had brain damage because she was held inside the birth canal for 2 hours by a nurse during birth. And that caused oxygen deprivation. And so she had learning difficulties and brain damage from that. And in her early 20s, she was described as being like irritable and rebellious. And so her dad sought advice from this doctor, Dr. Freeman, who was the double fisting fucking
ice picks.
Right. And at 23, her dad authorized the lobotomy.
Yeah, she was a problem for them because they wanted to look a certain way.
So fucked up.
In society.
Yeah. And the doctor had her recite a poem while she was having the operation done and as they were cutting. And then when she was silent, they knew the procedure was complete. Yep. But she was one of the... somebody who had a terrible outcome. It left her with permanent physical and mental disabilities, and she was unable to live independently.
Yeah, they just put her in a home and pretended like it wasn't there.
Yeah, and she lived until 86.
My God.
I know. That's a long life with like the after effects of this medical procedure that...
Right?
Fucking A. This guy's just like... swinging around ice picks into people's eye sockets.
Yeah, what do you think?
Hammering them in there.
He's just a psychopath?
All willy-nilly. Oh, my fucking God!
Does he have a...
Can you really imagine, picture, do you hear what I'm saying?
I do. I know. It's sick.
That's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
The margin of error.
It's sick.
Yeah. Yeah. It really like, so, you know, the article was talking about how it's exactly what you said. It's just unruly patients and it just reduced the cost of care or cost and effort that went into their care.
I mean, obviously I don't agree with what
victims.
happened, and it is very disturbing. But I can see it now, even with, we hear about the problems dealing with certain kinds of Alzheimer's patients where they're very difficult to manage, especially if they're at home with someone who doesn't know how to handle them. And like, I can imagine getting to the point where you think, I will do anything. Somebody help me.
Yeah.
And then you get this terrible situation.
Yeah. Where they just, that is like, oh God, it's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why the research on those kind of diseases is so important.
Well, but
this is like
remember when
it is just
we read
insane.
Hidden Valley Road for book club, which talks about schizophrenia and the history of it and I don't know, just how they deal with it over the years, and how it talked about how people in the mental health field tend to go into like more dealing with people with anxiety, people with depression, things that are more treatable, manageable, can be dealt with like with talk therapy and things like that.
Yeah.
And that these things are just so much more difficult and not as appealing to study.
The most challenging part of my training, my schooling, education as a therapist, was two times I had to do 2 weeks, had the privilege of getting to do work at something they called Stroke Boot Camp, which was a 2-week, like, intensive, like therapy and like physical therapy and basically like support for families and individuals that have experienced a stroke. And I had clients who had aphasia. I had one client, oh my gosh, who like was a genius, and then had a stroke and same IQ, same intelligence, knew what he wanted to say, but
inside.
The words couldn't come out. Yeah, locked inside.
Nightmare.
Can't even communicate, like can't even write them down.
Yeah, that's a nightmare.
It was one of the hardest, like, it was very rewarding and very, like, meaningful work. And I can see how much we helped the families and helped, like, the people who were the caregivers for these individuals. But holy crap, it was so sad. It was so hard to do.
Yeah.
It was really, really, like, you cried every day. Every day. Oh my God, young people. One of my clients was 28 years old.
I wonder why they had a stroke.
Yeah.
Does that happen a lot?
This one was a combo. They had a stroke that then caused another injury.
Oh man. Yeah.
So it was just, oh God, it was really just terrible and really.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would take a kind of person, you know, it's really hard to have like hope and motivation when the outcomes are what they are.
Right. That's what it was saying in the book, that it's just, you do all this work and then you really don't get very far in the science. And so you don't get that feeling of like, I'm making a difference and whatever that you can get with patients that are more easily managed.
Yeah.
And so it's just not appealing.
Damn.
So then we don't get as many advancements because there aren't as many people doing it.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's so sad.
Yeah, it's a real pickle.
It really is.
But
Good thing MIT is over there researching what side the cream on the Oreo is going to come off on.
See, now that's what the people want.
Doing the real work out there. I'll tell you one more story before we wind down here. This was one that I thought was going to give me so much more, I don't know, tell me something I didn't fucking already know.
Yeah, I hate that.
But I read this and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then it just made me angry. So get ready. Warning you, you're going to be frustrated. You want to know the best way to flirt according to science?
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. So the new Norwegian University of Science and Technology claims that they have found the most effective flirting techniques for both men and women. They studied, like, what are the differences, what happens. So this is just to put a big asterisk on this, this is heterosexual flirting and heterosexual relationships.
Okay.
So the volunteer participants were sent questionnaires, and they were asked to rate how effective these 40 different types of flirting were when looking for either short-term relationships or long-term relationships, and based on whether the flirter was male or female. So the researcher also looked at things like extroversion levels, age, how religious they were, how willing they were to be in a relationship, and how attractive they are in the dating market, which I don't know how they measured that, but interesting.
Yeah,
so
where's the rubric?
This is like going to be so obvious and so annoying, but like, also, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Study that confirms what you already know. Get ready to roll your eyes. For women who are looking for short-term relationships, so like a fling or a one-night stand, a good time but not a long time.
Just show me your tits.
They said the most effective technique, can you guess what the most effective technique is?
Touching?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giving signs that you're sexually available.
Yeah. That's why I said just show me your tits.
Right. But apparently a kiss on the cheek and like a friendly kiss on the cheek or hugging is not enough. So it's better to use cues that highlight sexual availability. So rubbing against potential partners, moving closer, or making body contact. Exactly.
Body contact.
Right.
Okay.
Oh my God, I just burped. Excuse me.
What?
Oh,
that is so funny. But they're basically saying like, just take your pants off, bend over.
Yeah.
And that's
it's
the best
100% saying that. This is the fun. So that's all that it took. There wasn't anything else that was needed.
What do you mean?
Men looking for short-term flings could not just rely on one technique.
Well, yeah, because we're not stupid.
That's what I said. I was like, yeah, see, this just makes me mad.
Well, and because we already know that you want to sleep with us. Like, that is implied.
Yeah.
You basically have to tell us if you don't want us.
Right.
Because otherwise, we're just going to assume.
They were judged more effectively if, in additional to physical and sexual tactics, they also, get ready for this one, smiled, showed interest in conversations, gave compliments, and made her laugh.
So if they acted like a person,
correct,
they engaged, nice.
If they were just pleasant.
That's unreal.
Can you believe?
See, this is
that means that they so frequently are showing up and not doing those fucking things that the first one to give us any sign that they have an interest in our conversations or smile or give us we're like totally falling all over them.
This is why they get mad when we're not smiling, because they're like, uh-oh, that means she doesn't want to sleep with me. I'm going to force her to smile.
Right. You're so right.
God, they are the worst.
Men who are seeking long-term relationships did better off if they showed signs of generosity and a willingness to commit.
I mean, so you were so right about the eye rolling. This is ridiculous.
I know. That I was like, this. I don't know why it made me so mad, but you know.
Right. I mean, of course that's going to show us that you're interested. If you tell us you want to commit.
I know. This seems so obvious. There was one trait, one type of flirting that appeared, not trait, but type of flirting, that appeared to be universally effective. Can you guess what that is? That, like, made everybody like the person more.
Laughter.
Yes!
Yes.
People think that humor or being able to make the other person laugh is the most effective for men who are looking for a long-term relationship, and least effective for a woman who are looking for one-night stands. But in reality, laughing or giggling or like at the other person's jokes is effective for both sexes. I was like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah. That's good to remember. That like maybe if you think like, oh, I'm not cute enough or whatever, it's okay. Because I really do think confidence and comedy, the 2 C's, they can get you quite far.
Confidence and comedy, the 2 C's.
I'm trying to teach this to Lincoln because when he feels
Forget the double D's. Look for the
2
double
C's.
C's.
Yes, Sarah, good one. That's a good one. When he thinks like he doesn't have enough friends or people don't like him enough, he tries to figure it out and like what.
Oh, buddy, tell him I love him. I'll be his best friend forever.
But it's kind of depressing because the truth of it is that, as we've seen with like reality stars, if you are confident and self-assured and comfortable in your own skin, that is mainly all you need to attract people. They might not be the best people, but it does have a magnetic effect, unfortunately. So, and if you don't naturally have confidence, just fucking fake it.
Yeah.
So it's like a good
buddy.
and
yeah,
bad.
Just fake it.
Like it's a good thing if you
Good
can
and bad.
foster that
But
in
it's
yourself.
good that you guys are talking about that.
But how do you teach someone to have confidence? That I don't know.
Well, I do.
Okay.
You do what my fucking mom did. Look at me, sis.
Tell me. Well, how did she teach you, though? You don't think it was just...
Oh, my gosh. You are the best. Look at how you cleaned up your room. I have never seen a more perfect room.
I mean, I feel like he because I do that stuff, and then he goes, you're just saying that, you know? Like, because I'm his mom.
Yeah, but yeah, he's going to keep saying that,
Okay.
but you just
keep doing it.
You go,
Brainwash.
no.
Okay.
I am 100%. Sis.
Okay. I will then.
Look at me.
Sarah.
My mom was like, you are the
best.
perfect angel. And I was like, I don't know what's wrong with everybody else.
Okay.
I'm great over here.
I'm going to take your advice. Well, it certainly couldn't hurt.
I'm half kidding, guys. I do know that I have a lot of things to work on.
Oh, my gosh. Nobody's offended right now. 0 people will be offended by that.
Okay, good.
And also...
Because we're talking confidence, not actual abilities.
Well, and there's a difference between confidence and arrogance.
Totally.
And
good. So I rode the line a little bit in my early days on the challenge.
You don't put other people down, ever.
Correct.
So
I'm all about being cheerleader.
Yeah,
everything to do.
So I feel like you be as confident as you want because you're very nice to other people.
Well, thank you.
Am I your mom?
Yes, I love this right now.
Funny.
Oh, this is great. So there you go.
All right.
Those are the
wow.
That's everything you already
round
fucking
of
knew
applause.
about flirting.
I say round of applause because you gave us so much good stuff today.
Thanks, Suze. And you know what? I still had 2 other things where I was like,
good.
"Oh my god,
you're on a roll."
I've got some good stuff in the pipeline here." Like I was thinking that today. I'm like, man,
you were like,
there's
Sally's
such
right.
good
I
stories
am
today.
awesome.
Yeah. See, there you go. There's that confidence
It's
again.
true, but it is.
Golly.
I liked it. You're maybe it's because you're Sarah Rice again.
I feel more like me.
Yep.
I feel more focused, more centered. Got my. This is the first time I was doing the math on this. This is the first time since 2017 that that my driver's license address matches the actual place I live.
Shut up. That
feels
so
very
sad.
stable to me.
Well, yeah. I mean, especially if it's been that long.
Yes.
Good grief.
Like, you know how hard it's like chasing things down, like what address to get sent to? Where do I even live? What's like now every place everywhere has the same address for me.
Wow.
You know?
This is grown up.
That is some fucking grown ass shit. Only took me 36 years, you know?
No, that is perfect timing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So now we're getting stories like pig heart updates and
pig heart updates.
Video game.
Yeah,
weirdness.
I was thinking the same. I was like, is the news just been good lately?
Well,
but it hasn't
no.
been good lately.
Definitely not boring though. I will say that.
Yeah.
No, I crave boredom. That would be fun to be bored again. In fact, I was watching something on TV recently, and it was from 2015. And I'm not kidding. You could tell that it was before Trump. It was before the pandemic. Wow. It was before everything went to hell in the handbasket. And I was like, boy, they seem so peaceful and like almost boring. I was very jealous.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Now it's just high highs, low lows.
Yeah, exactly right. But anyway, at least we're not doing lobotomies anymore. Thank God for that.
I know. Thank God. Learned all about why you shouldn't have one of those.
And remember, everybody, if you want to flirt, just be slutty.
Just show your tits. Yep.
Show your tits or your wits. Either way.
Yeah.
All right, people.
We talked about how twins who grew up
how can we forget
in
about
two
that?
different countries had such different IQs.
That's disturbing.
Totally interesting. Pig heart transplant update, of course. And, just general hilarity.
Good work, Sarah. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Woo! See, she's giving me those compliments so that I keep the confidence going. Just keep bringing you these excellent stories.
And if you don't want to miss any, you should subscribe, tell a friend, tag us in your merch pictures. We love that.
Yeah, if you guys are like, hey, how do I hear about these articles? And what was that one you were talking about? Well, we have a wonderful newsletter that you could subscribe to that's like not shitty. It's like just the good articles.
Yeah.
There you go.
I love it. Okay.
Best up.
We'll see you next time, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.